Good day, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be with you today at the global launch of the No More Epidemics campaign, and I'm delighted to be able to join you by video to provide a message. I'm going to speak as a result of my own personal experience with a number of outbreaks in the last 20 years. I'll focus particularly on what I've learnt through the recent Ebola outbreak. I'm not going to go into detail on the outbreak. I want to go straight to 4 particular findings that I believe are relevant to the campaign that you're involved in. And here they are. Firstly, people and their communities must be at the centre and must own issues related to disease outbreaks. And this is because diseases are primarily spread through people's behaviour, and communities have to be at the centre of preparedness and response to infectious disease. Controlling Ebola only became possible when the response was owned by everyone, when communities realised that holding patients in their homes could lead to the death of entire households. They found innovative ways to separate the infected from the healthy. They established their own ways of introducing quarantine, and this quarantine was fine when it was owned by the communities. So in practice we find that most success in any outbreak response can be attributed to local ownership and initiatives. My second point is that a whole of government, indeed a whole of society response is required. This means strong leadership from the centre of government, engaging multiple sectors and including stakeholders from faith groups, the Red Cross movement, first responder organisations and civil society, led by strong commitment from parliamentarians who are encouraging government to act. The focus should always be on understanding and reducing risk in ways that are backed by a combination of science and experience. In the current Ebola outbreak, presidents of the affected countries themselves started to understand the risk, involved the whole of government, as well as politicians and civil society, and made decisions that were based on an analysis of the realities as well as of projections they were receiving. My third point is that coordination and communication is vital. Those of us who work as technical supporters for the response with different qualifications absolutely have to work together. We must find common direction and maintain collective ambition. It's important that all responders, national and international, speak with one voice, providing commonly agreed guidance and avoiding contradicting messages and confusion in the early stages of the response. And we must be sure that whatever happens, the narratives and the stories we use to describe what is happening can be understood by everybody, whoever and wherever they are, whether it's in local newspapers, community groups or specialised meetings. My fourth point is that preparedness and readiness pay off. Outbreak prevention requires community-based surveillance of animal and human health. It requires the capacity for rumours to be investigated, data to be analysed, risk to be assessed, and seriousness to be judged. And the whole population at risk must be covered. Preparedness requires well-coordinated, pre-planned comprehensive systems with clear chains of command, which can be applied when necessary. It also includes reinforced surveillance, rapid deployment, and adequate finance. An international response to future crises will require strong emphasis on what happens in the initial period. First of all, the raising of the alert, and then what happens when the alert is raised. And that's why it's so important that the international community and individual countries need to be ready to respond when an outbreak occurs. So the best way is actually to prevent outbreaks happening at all. And for that, societies need to be enabled to act in ways that help them understand and manage risk so as to prevent disease outbreaks from occurring. And this is the reality. Humankind generally avoids major outbreaks through careful and learned action to prevent the spread of disease. And good science helps us to understand the ways to detect and manage risk. And action always involves individuals themselves, supported by a mix of sectors and stakeholders. Let's maintain that focus in all we do, in all we teach, in all we share, and in all decisions we make. And do let us continue to be prepared, because there will be unexpected outbreaks of new diseases or old diseases cropping up in an unfamiliar form. Being prepared to respond and testing responses through simulation, whether in individual nations, at the community level or at the national level, or across nations and across the world. Getting this right contributes to a peaceful and secure future for all people and all nations. It needs our continuous and collective engagement so that we can stay together to be ahead of the next threat. And I thank you, and I wish you the very, very best in your important quest. Thanks again.